This is my fourth demonstration video for my LIS 519 Youth Programming class for my Master's in Library Science. Today I will be explaining how to make friendship bracelets. This is going to be focused on being a teen program, maybe for tweens as well, but my programs are usually focused for teens. I will show you an example and then I will explain some of the supplies I have before getting into the steps. That's all. This is an example that I made not too long ago. It's not the best, but I think that's okay for a first try. So for my supplies, I have embroidery thread, scissors, scotch tape, buttons, a measuring tape, and then I also have some sewing clips. These are optional though. So for step one, you're going to choose 3 or 4 different colors of string. This is going to change how wide your bracelet is going to be. For step 2, you can also go ahead and pick out a button at this point that's going to go with the colors. This is going to be how you can fasten your bracelet once you want to wear it. So for step 3, you want to cut your string. So if you're doing 3 colors, each one needs to be about 50 inches each. If you're doing 4 colors, it needs to be about 60 inches each. So for step 4, you want to tie a loop with the thread and make sure that the hole will be big enough for the button to fit through. And you can also tighten the thread onto the button to make sure that it will fit. For step 5, you can tape down that loop that we just made. For step 6, you are going to separate those colors. Outside to inside is going to be first to last for the color schemes, and make sure that you have those colors mirrored when you separate them. As a part of step 6, you can also add in those sewing clips at this point too. So we are going to work our way in. You're going to start making knots by making a 4 crossing over the next color, and then you can bring this string underneath. So it should look like this now. You can finish the knot by pulling this string through. For step 9, you can pull it taut by holding on to the color that you connected it to and pulling on that initial string. For step 10, you're going to make another knot, resulting in 2 knots on 1 color. For step 11, you are going to continue this process over the 3rd color in. Again, you're making that 4, crossing it under, and pulling this string up and through. And then you can pull it taut at the top. I just need 2 hands to do this. Step 11 was to go over that next color. Step 12 is when you get to the middle, stop with this band. Don't go any further. So for step 13, you are just going to repeat that process over again, starting from the other side and working your way back into the middle. And what I mean by that is 2 knots on each color till you reach the middle and stop. So when you reach the middle, you're going to take the right thread and you're going to make that 4 and tie the knot twice over onto the left side. So after you've done step 14 and made those 2 knots in the middle, step 15 is to cross these strands so that they lie on the opposite side of where they originally were. So for step 16, you can keep going with the next color, continue the process where you're going into the middle, stopping and going into the middle, crossing sides from there. So for step 17, you're just going to keep going and going until you find a good stopping point. And then if you lay it over your wrist, you can see if it will be a good fit or if you need to keep going. You can see it's kind of wrapped around right now. This is a good length for me. You're also going to have that loop that's going to give you about like ½ an inch of length as well. For step 18, gather all of the threads and you're going to tie a little knot at the end to make sure that your braid doesn't come undone. After you've done step 18 of making that knot, pull some extra thread through the button that you chose and you're going to tie these in a knot to secure it. The extra lines that you have, you can just tie off at the end. So for step 19, we tied some knots on top of the button to make sure that it was secured and underneath to kind of tuck away that other string. I did 2 square knots on top of each other to make sure that it was really secure. And then step 20, you're just going to cut off the extra string and then you are all set.